Welcome back to the Super Data Science Podcast, everybody. Super excited to have you back here on the show. We've got a super special guest calling in from Lagos, Nigeria, Amanda Obidike. Amanda, welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I love to be here. Thank
That's
you.
so cool. 7 a.m. in Nigeria, and you're like full of energy. You're smiling. You're happy. What's your advice? How does somebody get into such a positive mood so early in the morning?
Well, it's about waking up and being thankful for life, for one thing, because it's not ours. So, when you wake up and you find out that you are indeed alive and you are well, you have to take the day as it is. So,
Mm.
and I have quite a lot of goals, to accomplish today. So, I think the best is just putting on a smile and executing it while it goes.
Fantastic, very cool. And what's the what's life like in Nigeria? I've never been to Nigeria. What can you tell us about Lagos? And I don't know, like if somebody were to come to Lagos, what's like the top three things they would love about your city?
Okay, so my country as Nigeria is we are happy people, because I know you may have heard about some political instability, corruption as it is, but we are people of hope,
Yeah.
and I think that's what still keeps us moving. And coming to Lagos, I think you're going to like our food. We have wonderful traditional delicacies. A lot of tourists, love what we cook here, and it's something that they go back to their country and they try to look for Nigerian shops that they can eat some. So and people, we meet people who can be helpful, people who can support you, and also another thing, we are very kind people. So
Hmm.
interacting or blending in would not be a challenge.
Hmm. I love it. I love it. So all the things are
Thank
like
you.
cultural and about people, and that's amazing. Great. Well, yeah, I'd love to go one day. Sounds like a great place to be.
Thank you.
And Nigeria has a big population, right?
Yes, we are the largest black nation in the world.
Okay. Wow, 195 million people in Nigeria.
Yes.
That is
Alarming,
that
right?
is that is huge. That is huge. Wow, that's a um that is a lot of people. Amazing. Okay, so um a large population and um, technology starting to pick up, and
Mm.
so that's where you come in, right? So I've watched a few of your talks and appearances online of how you encountered a situation. I think it was in 2015 where you ended up underemployed. Tell us a bit about that, because I think that's where your journey into data science and into STEM and into helping others really started.
Okay, so I went to a school in Nigeria, and it's actually one of the best universities in Nigeria. It's called Obafemi Awolowo University. And before we entered, we had this mentality on, going to, if you go to one of the best schools, you are likely to get a better job upon graduation. But, the
Mm.
reverse was the case, because I read business management in school, but upon graduation, there was no job, and
Mhm.
1 month went by, 8 months went by, you're not doing anything. And it resulted to me being so depressed. I was
Mhm.
just so angry about everything. But it was not just about being angry. I needed to ask myself a lot of questions. I found out that the jobs were there, really, but we just didn't have the technical skills to take those jobs. And we had expatriates, foreigners coming to take that jobs. And just because that was what the companies or our labor market needed. And it was actually a very wide economic disparity, because I was not the only one deprived. I had friends, I had families that were all saying the same thing. And after research, I found out that technology, has come to stay, and there are a lot of drivers in it. Afterwards, I got an opportunity with the IBM. Someone just, linked me up to them and said, hey, yeah, training on business intelligence, data analytics, and AI is something you should try. And I was first of all discouraged because I didn't have any prior knowledge to it. But when I went to the innovation center, I loved the ambience. I loved how they were doing things, and I started to envisage myself in that world. And I think that was what propelled me to, put in my best in the training. And after the training, goodness, like I got like a mastery award in business intelligence and AI. But the whole mentality thing is after you have these skills, you should be able to get a job. And a few of my friends did, but I started looking inwardly. I said, it's not just about landing myself a job. Why don't I help young people like me, to have these skills? Because a lot of people do not know that this exists. And that was what made me to start my NGO, where we can train people, not just only in data science, but other future focused options that they can look into that our country needs and our continent needs. And it's been a tremendous experience because I do not only help young people, I also help businesses, in evaluating their data, farmers in Ivory Coast and the Gambia, So it's a field that I do not regret. It has been one of the life-changing experiences I've had. So yeah, that's how I really got into data science.
That is really amazing to hear. And so this IBM training helped you get a kickstart in the past 5 years. So I believe that was like around 2015. Well, since then, what kind of skills have you been able to pick up in the space of data science?
Okay, yes, machine learning for one thing, and what else? Data analytics, informatics, and also people management. It helps me to, not just only evaluate this data, but also relating to maybe, for example, staff, how they're, integrating it into HR. I think that's another deprived area that, people look into. So people just look at data as, okay, the business angle, generating profits. Yeah. But I also channel it to, talent management on how do your staff feel? Are they happy on the job? Is there anything we can do, to make them better? Because I know that staff they should be the number one resources in a business.
Yeah, okay, that's a good point. And machine learning, you do that through Python, right? You said you're learning R.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, exciting.
This episode is brought to you by Super Data Science, our online membership platform for learning data science at any level. We've got over 2,500 video tutorials, over 200 hours of content, and 30 plus courses, with new courses being added on average once per month. So all of that and more you get as part of your membership at Super Data Science. So don't hold off. Sign up today at www.superdatascience.com. Secure your membership and take your data science skills to the next level.
Do you have any example projects you can share with us that you've done, for other businesses or like with these skills that you've learned?
Yes. So I usually refer to this project a lot because it relates not just to business, but to our economy in Nigeria. So there was a project that we deployed 2 years ago, and it's a project in the lowest literate and densely populated state in Nigeria. It's called Kano State. It's so populated. And it's not just only like the lowest literate, it's also a girl child marginalized state. So, and they have this belief that Western education is a sin or is an atrocity. And this has actually affected young girls to dream, to go to school. So the whole mentality is if you're 12, you should start getting married. Now that's a problem. So we had to design this key solution that can collect this gender disaggregated data and start informing digital policies. We needed the numbers. We needed to know that even if this literacy is on the rise, we have to start informing the government on the need to educate these girls. So, it was so tough because now Nigeria, we aren't really refined in data collection. It took us months, to access this data from the State Education Board. We did that, we evaluated and found out that it's an alarming rate of, we have over 296,000 girls that are aged 4 to 15 years that do not have access to quality education. And, when we showed the numbers to the state government, they were also shocked themselves. But, it was not just about giving the numbers. We were asking ourselves, what do we do to correct this existing cultural, social, and gender bias, not just for education, but for their livelihood. And that was when we started to, talk to their religious leaders, because, they hold them in high cognizance. And we now started encouraging them, also giving orientation to their parents on the need of, for these girls going back to school or having as little as just basic education. So it was one thing to address this need or to identify the numbers. And okay, let me also say that it was the education level is just only 2.04%. So is that bad? And we just not only had to give in the numbers, but we had to design solutions that can, ensure that these girls are free to dream, they are free to excel, and they are free to be who they want to be. So I usually use this example because anybody that is really conversant with Nigeria or Africa will know that Islamism, if I'm permitted to say that, do not really totally encourage education, but we were able to forge, a flexible policy that can, these girls can be part of, to have education.
Okay, very interesting. So with your data science skills, you're able to derive insights and statistics about the population that weren't visible before. And then from that, you're able to talk with the government or with other bodies to drive change, to help people.
Yes.
Amazing.
I can also chip in another one. This one is something we started last year, and it's also still going into 2022. So it's about teachers also. So, we have this wall of, we've inherited a fragmented education institution in school. I'll give you an example. When I was in the university, I even found out that a lot of friends who were in engineering, they were either switching courses in the year 2, year 3, simply because classes wasn't exciting or teachers weren't, giving in that passion and enthusiasm in them. So it's really demoralizing. And, when we took out some data and, evaluating them in 3 local governments in Lagos State, we found out that we have 7 in 11 educators. That's nearly 65%. They do not have access to practical teaching tools. They do not have access to a refined curriculum, and also it's still the same, thing over and over again. But, it also required us talking to the government, because we do not just, in a country like Nigeria, we do not just take actions on our own. We have to consult the government. And we said, why don't we train teachers, giving them the right tools that they can, integrate into their classroom, so that students can see science and technology as an exciting course, because they believe that mathematics is difficult, science is difficult, but we needed to correct this from the foundation.
Very interesting. And how do you get this data? So do you go and survey people, or I'm just curious, how does that all happen?
Yeah, so we take out surveys, number one, but we also take out, we also bring data from the government, because now they have a basic education board. So they have the number of schools, the number of students that are enrolled in that school, how many people are graduating. Now, that's all it's just raw data, because they haven't really processed it or evaluated it. But we take it, we evaluate it, and we also return it to them saying, this is the outcome, this is what we have found. and how can we, use this information going forward.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So it sounds like your life really changed after finishing university and being underemployed versus then taking some courses and learning data science, machine learning, like completely different, black and white, right?
Yes.
Day and night. Yeah. And so do you think that's available to anybody? Do you think like anybody can, like you said, there's a lot of population in Nigeria, and I heard that in Africa there's about, I think this is from a quote of yours, 200 million people aged between 15 to 24, and the unemployment in this youth population is over 40%. Right? Would you say that almost anybody can learn STEM skills and thereby increase their chances of employment, and more importantly, in a career that they will be enjoying?
Yes, we believe so, because we know that STEM is the solution one way or the other. And in a country like Nigeria, where things are not totally working out, people are craving for solutions. So when we reach out to them, or other organizations say, we want to give you these skills that, can make you to be self-reliant. You don't necessarily need to depend on the government or your parents. Everybody's in, and the passion goes in. So, and now, because we now create jobs out of it. So because, life is going virtual, a lot of them get to have remote opportunities. So they don't necessarily need to go to Australia or the USA. They can have, like, whether it's intern opportunities or virtual kind of work that they can, give, and, their lives are better. So yes, STEM is actually the solution in our continent, irrespective of our numbers, our alarming population numbers.
Okay, interesting. And is that why you started STEMi?
Yes, I needed to address the leaky unemployment pipeline, because as it is, sadly, we have millions of young Africans who are underemployed and unemployed. So we wanted to train them, not just giving them that skills, but also, they can leverage on our connection or certain kinds of opportunities that we have that can make them to start creating jobs for themselves, or also, match world standard or the continent standard in the labor force. Sorry.
Okay. And so STEM usually, we all know, stands for science, technology, engineering, mathematics. You've added I, right? STEMi, and the name of your organization, STEMi Makers Africa. As I understand, I stands for innovation. Why did you add the I?
Wow, that's a good one. So STEM has actually been in existence. We've had science, technology, and all, but that innovation is telling them that we can do STEM differently. So it's not like the routine STEM that or just about bringing in project-based learning resources. It's about being able to design something, because I say that no idea is new per se, but your innovation, whatever you bring in that differentiates you from the competitor B or person B, is innovation. So that innovation was what, innovation is actually what's going to drive the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And, it was just a way of, being unique. So it's not just about STEMi as innovation, but STEMi, like personified, like I am STEM.
Okay, interesting.
STEMi.
Cool. Yeah. And so what's your mission at STEMi? Because this is the really interesting part, which you told me just before the podcast, and what I learned about your organization. I want to know the problems that you're addressing in Africa, right? And you said Africa and the MENA region, which is Middle East and North Africa nations, right? North Asia, North Africa, I'm not sure really. So basically, I want to know what problems that you're addressing. What are the problems that exist? Because people. This is a very interesting opportunity for me to learn more about this, because a lot of the time I hear Africa is the next. First of all, I love Africa. Like, I grew up in Africa, in Zimbabwe. So, but I haven't been back there for so long. But now I'm hearing that Africa is the next big player in the global market, in global world, because a huge population, right? Just Nigeria alone, 195 million people, right? The whole of Africa is a huge population, a huge landscape. It's like, it's massive, a massive continent with lots of resources, lots of opportunities, and also technology, right? There's a lot of people who are not online, but technology is going exponentially. So more and more people are going to be online. A lot of those people are in Africa. So like, I'm just hearing these things. You're there, you're living it. So I would love to know, what are the challenges that are faced on the continent of Africa, and what specifically does your organization do to address them at scale?
Okay, so first things first, we address the underrepresentation of women and girls in technology and STEM. We believe that women contribute majorly to the economic development of a nation. And if we want that to happen, we need to champion these women at the forefront. So a lot of women, most times, sadly, are confined to the kitchens or, just get married and that's all. But we are preparing them that there is more to life, and we are also catching them young. And one of the ways we do this is our mentoring program. It's called Project Kongoza. Kongoza is a Swahili language for to lead, like leadership. So it's empowering young women and girls to lead. And we pair them to professional women in STEM who are either in diaspora or who are already in the continent, to give them this career and academic support, and also the confidence that they need to navigate the market. Because graduating is one thing, being confident is another thing, So we have this program, and it's virtual. So, and it's a way of understanding different cultures. So you're not just only confined to, you understand only Nigeria or Ghana. So it's a way of, mixing them up. And it has been tremendous. Good enough, we've had support from very few women who are already giving in their time and resources to ensure that these girls are well prepared. Then another one is our, increase in unemployment. We have the population, but we ask ourselves yearly, how many opportunities is the government preparing for them? And you find out that it's just 2 in 10 youths who graduate from universities that are getting jobs. So what happens to the 8? So you see that this disparity is frightening. And what we do around this is giving them certain kind of skills that they need, to upskill themselves. So whether it's about being an entrepreneur in data or web development, fine, but just have these skills, because these skills are not even, you can't even find these skills in the university. We have this theoretical approach still in our universities, sadly. So, youth don't have these skills. So we give them these skills through trainings, through webinars, workshops, and also internships. Then the third one is our education. Now, our education is also a sad thing, because we have teachers that are not refined, and most times teachers enter into that job because they don't have opportunity, to enter into the job market. So they enter it because they're helpless, and that's not too good, because when they enter because they're helpless, they are not enthusiastic on the job. They just teach and they do not care. But we teach them on, loving their jobs, adding a lot of excitement and energy, just to ensure that they are building the younger generation. So that's like 3 major things. Well, apart from, certain political instability, but that's actually something that we can't really do on our own. So the things that we can do on our own, we design programs around it, just to ensure that we are either touching the teachers or the women and girls or the youths generally.
Mm-hmm. Wow, very cool. Thank you. So just to recap, the 3 problems you outlined are underrepresentation of women in STEM, and moreover, it's the whole mentality about what the disparity between genders and what the women are expected to do with their lives and not have a career, and how that is changing, and how women can and should be contributing to lots of different areas, including STEM. And that you address with the mentoring program that you have, the Project Congoza. Then unemployment. So lots of like a huge population unemployment. You mentioned at the start that lots of jobs. I think this is what you mean by leaky job pipeline. That lots of jobs go to expats and people who have the skills, but actually it's just a question of skills. So that you address by providing access to skills or like helping people learn these skills that they need to get these jobs. And final one is education in terms of like the teachers, right? So you actually help by training teachers to be able to teach in a way that they love and in a way that they will pass on this empowerment to other people.
True. Thank you.
Okay. Very interesting. Oh, thank you. Very interesting. So let's talk a bit about this Project Congoza. Is this the one that you mentioned before the podcast where you're looking for people who can volunteer from anywhere in the world as mentors, whether they're men or women? Is that the project?
Yes, it is. It is.
Okay.
It's a virtual project, and we are in need of mentors. Because we have them already. The last application we had 900 plus of them, and we just had 45 mentors. So you can see how desperate we need hands, to come on board.
Yeah. Wow, that's very cool. So how can somebody listening to this podcast? So just to clarify, it doesn't. So this project helps young women and girls get up to speed and be empowered in this area of STEM. But the mentors can be from anywhere. So this project is focused on young women and girls in Africa and the MENA nations. But the mentors can be from anywhere in the world, right? From America, from Europe, from Africa,
Yes.
from Australia, Asia, anywhere. So, and it can be either male or female. So pretty much anybody listening to this podcast can get involved. How can they get involved? Where do they contact you, or there's an application form, and what does it entail? What does this involvement require?
Okay, so we value our mentors also. We know that they already have their lives and they have work. So one of the commitments we usually seek out is availability. If you are willing to give at least 2 hours in a month, which I know that most times we get a positive response on that. So it's about the timing. And if you are willing to give at least 2 hours, please sign up. You mustn't have like tons of years of experience in data or in technology. We just want these girls to hear your story and how you excel in whatever you do. They can learn from it and all. So in reaching to us, we have social media pages on LinkedIn. Just you can give us a follow or send us a message. And it's also on our website. There's a form under the STEMi women in the website, so you can indicate interest. And we'll reach out to you immediately.
What's the website?
STEMiafrica.org, like .org.
STEMiafrica.org. Okay, gotcha. And then you go to STEMi Women there.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. 2 hours a month. That is not much at all. I thought you were going to say 2 hours a week, but 2 hours a month, virtually anybody should be able to find 2 hours a month for a cause like this to help people. And you said what, you had 900 applications. How many mentors do you have at present?
Presently now we had 45 this year, but we've had 37 the preceding year. And why we had a new strategy because they are so few. So we started pairing them 4-1, like 4 mentees to 1 mentor. But in a very convenient manner where you don't necessarily need to have one different meetings with them. You can create like a WhatsApp group, for example, or just like on Telegram, and you can have a conversation with them, and you can decide on when is the day that everyone will feel comfortable, to have a Zoom call, so everybody's coming on board at the same time. So it's a collective one. And it's also a way for these mentees to learn from each other, like peer-to-peer mentoring. So, yes.
Okay, fantastic. So, and you're planning to scale this initiative?
Yes, big time. 2021, we are ready.
Okay, okay. What's your goal?
We would like to reach out to more of them, especially, and also reduce the ages and increase. We used to put it at age 15 to 25, but we're looking at putting it 15 to 30, because we also know that there are people in late 20s like me that
Yeah.
they are also passionate about this, but they do not have the opportunity. So we want to increase the age limit.
Okay. How do you address the problem that some of these people, as you said, like especially in these highly populated areas, they don't even have access to internet or even a computer? How do you, or maybe not at the moment, but do you have a plan on how you will help people like that in those situations sometime in the coming years?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we had some mentees in Uganda who are in remote villages, and they do not have as basic as data, which we still have issues of data in Africa and in Nigeria. So we work with some centers. For example, there's a center called Makuba Center. They have like systems. So these girls go on a particular day to use their system and have a meeting if need be with their mentors. So we know that these challenges exist, but we try to look out for local partners who can help these girls to assess this mentoring.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Um, all right. So, what kind of results are you seeing? Like, how many, I don't know, girls or we talk a lot unemployment. So, youths, or how many teachers have you been able to help along the way? How long have you been doing this for?
Okay, so 2+ years.
2+ years.
February, yes, February will make it 3 years that we
Okay.
got established, as STEMi
Okay.
Makers Africa. And the numbers are increasing because we are not just only in Nigeria. We're already in 19 sub-Saharan countries.
Yeah.
And by February, we'll be adding 2 more years. So you see that the need is arising and resources is needed. So we've been fortunate to, partner and collaborate with organizations like the IBM Good Enough. The US Consulate has also been good, to us. But we would like to, design sustainable programs for these girls. I'll give you an example. Some of these mentors have really been so amazing to these mentees. So while during the mentoring program, they share opportunities. I learned that two mentees are going to be getting scholarship, to go in for their masters by next year. Now that's awesome because they are transitioning from like point A to point B. So it's either they are transitioning from education to employment, or they're transitioning to advanced education. But that's why we want to partner with as many people as possible, because we know that these opportunities are out there, but we want to serve as a middleman, to connect them to these opportunities.
Speaking of opportunities, this is another quote of yours from an interview. Globally, the need for STEM jobs accelerates between 38 to 42% every year. Are you seeing the same thing in Africa? And what are the industries specifically where the STEM jobs are growing?
Yes, it's alarming in Africa, especially in Nigeria. I don't have the precise numbers in Nigeria because it's going to, it requires, getting as many data as possible. But even in this alarming number, we are not really, we're not only relying on, jobs, for them, but we are also teaching them to be self-reliant. Like, you can be a data scientist and be a consultant on your own. You don't necessarily need to wait for a 9-to-5 job.
Yep.
You can, be an entrepreneur. So it's about them creating jobs for themselves. And it's a way of, keeping their hopes balanced. So it's not like you have the mentality that after I finish being trained by STEMi, I'm going to have a job. We're also telling you that if the job don't come, you need to start something on your own. And it's been beautiful by the way.
Okay, great. And so what are your best tips for somebody who's gotten the training? How how to get a job or how to start something on their own?
Okay, so I usually tell them, during our webinars is connection. You have to connect with as many people as possible. Like on LinkedIn, for example, we also teach them we call it LinkedIn makeup. So it's a way of, designing your LinkedIn profile in a very good way so that in case, recruiters come on your page, they're encouraged. And also it's about pitching themselves on social media and also following influencers like in data science or in technology, read from their stories, sometimes they give tips and hacks. You can learn from it, and you're also building yourself in experience. So, that's what we did. We just tell them, okay, collaborate, connect with people because you never know who your helper, in quotes, is. So you just get prepared.
Okay, that's great advice. Connection, absolutely important. Do you do anything to facilitate those connections?
Yes. One thing is our Project Kungoza community. We have this community of women, and they've been amazing. Most of them are researchers, PhD candidates or lecturers. So we try to leverage on their network. And most times, if we see something similar to what a youth read, we just connect them, and they take it up from there. I don't know if that answered your question.
No, absolutely. That's community is absolutely important to get things going like that.
Yeah.
And I liked your quote. One time you said that the world is moving, and it cannot wait. You said it cannot wait for Africa in the sense of technology, and that we need to step up. And I think that's beautiful. That like the world is moving on, and everybody, can make that conscious choice. Do I step up and participate in something like this, and grow my own skills and move forward? So yeah, it's important for people to be able to help each other, but also to make that decision to go forward. What kind of do you see people picking it up with enthusiasm, or do you sometimes or often see resistance and people being scared about STEM, or being maybe doubtful that this is the right path for them?
Yeah, so it depends on the geographical location. Take, for instance, like the North, that on a normal day, they do not really believe in education. Coercing them or making them see reasons for STEM is another, we experience such challenges. But we try to identify with local stakeholders who are ready for change. I believe that anybody that is ready for change will be ready for STEM, because we ask them, do you see how Germany or the USA is, their economy is? And everybody's nodding. We say, why don't we, look into STEM? Because I think that STEM and research, I know that STEM and research are, one of the strong things that the USA, really invest in. So we try to identify with stakeholders that understand the need, to integrate development. However, whether it's through education or through research or through STEM itself. And we have resistance all the same, but, we still keep pushing, because I know that it doesn't come easy, but, the resistance will be there, but we just look for strategies around it to make them understand that whether or not you like it, we need to, integrate all this.
That's great. That's a great way of putting it. I have an interesting question for you. Might be a bit tough, a tough one to investigate, but it's important, I think. What do you do, or how do you define whether STEM is the right thing for a certain person or not? Because there are people out there who don't want to go into STEM. They want to maybe learn arts, and they want to maybe learn have a career in nursing or something like that. That's completely unrelated to STEM. I think it's very admirable to create opportunities for people to learn STEM, but how do you make sure that, or you ask this question, like, is there a way for you to tell if a person is actually going to be happy in going into STEM?
Okay, yeah. So first things first, not everyone, we don't encourage everyone to like go into STEM because we also have wonderful opportunities outside of STEM. But we look at someone's creativity, for instance, or you are doing certain things in some machining and some kind of things that they're able to design. We try to focus, look at this and say, okay, we can give you project-based learning tools, that you can integrate into this to make it better. We can connect you to a programmer or a prototype engineer to refine it. But why I'm saying this is not, we don't, clamor for everyone to enter into STEM. We just see that, okay, this child has a passion for engineering or for technology, and why don't we do this for the person? So, yeah.
Okay, so you look at the passions that they already have.
Yes.
Okay, makes sense. So we talked a lot about the Project Congoza and how people can participate in that, and the mission to help young women and girls. I heard that in Nigeria there's about 13 million children who are not in school. What initiative do you have there? You mentioned like the skills, like helping people get the skills. Is this like a specific project that is undergoing? Can you tell us a bit about that?
Okay, yeah, we have undergoing projects. Last year, for instance, we partnered with the US Consulate to train teachers in 3 local governments in Lagos State. And for next year, we'll be training 5 states. It's going to be huge, though, in Nigeria. So, and it's also located in the southeastern region, where my parents are from. I live in Lagos in the city, but my parents originally were from the eastern part of Nigeria. So we not just only want to train these teachers, to integrate better learning into their classroom, but we also want to help them serve as role models and also, better their lives. Like I earlier said, not all teachers are really passionate about teaching. Most of them just find themselves there out of helplessness, no job and all. But we want to also, build them in capacity. We know they have wonderful dreams. So it's a way of, you don't necessarily need to be a teacher forever. We are giving you these opportunities, like certain kind of free courses that they do not know exist. We have this e-learning platform where they can access certain courses like that for free, learn on it. And, if it's a particular job you want, for example, in business intelligence, you can give it a shot. So it's not just about them pouring in. We also want to pour into these teachers, because they have aspirations as well.
Okay, very cool. And have you noticed, so you've been doing this for 3 years. Have you noticed any kind of like shifts that have been happening in the whole like of Nigeria or maybe in Africa? Like, how has the playing space, the playing arena for technology and employment, how has it developed? Is it becoming better? Is it becoming worse over time? Are there more people that are getting employed, more STEM opportunities that are being filled by locals, or is the situation like becoming more alarming?
Well, it's a process. It's really a process, because a country like Nigeria, where things, had long been mismanaged, we can't just, snap our fingers and everything goes right. For instance, during the training we had with teachers earlier on, we gave every of these teachers in different schools a task to have STEM clubs in their schools. Now, the good thing about it is before COVID happened in March 2020, these schools were able to design wonderful projects, and we were able to get investors for 3 of these schools. One designed like a smart home, device. I know we already have something related to that, but it's so cheap, where you can, wherever you are, you can control your home and the appliances. But we looked at these talents and we were amazed because these kids are just 15 years old. But you can see how with good mentorship, from their teachers, and refined teaching, they were able to design something. So I'm saying this because we are seeing changes, whether it's on the education level and whether it's even on the employment level. For instance, farmers that we helped, give some IoT and help them in their data. We helped them in Boya, Cameroon, because we have this, farmers do not have good preservation method in tomato. So, they plant tomato and, when tomato comes out, it comes out like in large quantity and, they end up spoiling it. So we helped these farmers, to manage losses, to manage preservation, to know how, like, the quantity of these tomatoes are going to be. So it's not just about, education or employment, but it's also, coming down to whether it's the informal sector or sectors like agriculture.
Interesting. So from this discussion, I'm gathering that some of the major areas that require technology or STEM skills are agriculture, including farming,
Yes.
population, right? So like community things and governmental things that are to do with population because it's growing so fast. What are maybe mining? I guess there's quite a lot of mining happening in Africa, right? So that's another field. Any other fields that come to mind where there's quite a lot of demand into which some of these people that you're training or teaching, that eventually they might be able to get jobs in those fields?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Any industries that you can think of apart from agriculture, government, and mining? Anything else?
Okay. Yeah. Well, entrepreneurship. Because now that jobs are not available, a lot of people are going into online, being like online vendors, buy, sell. You bring from China, you sell.
Yeah.
So they are creating jobs and they are establishing businesses on their own. Then another striking one is the fintech industry, because Nigeria, we have that's another emerging field, because we do a lot of transactions, and a country that we import a lot of things. The fintech industry is growing in an alarming rate, but we have little traction into that. So what we just do is we try to partner with organizations who can give these young people internship opportunities or job shadowing, where they can learn on the job for 6 months, and after that they get to do something. They look out for something better.
Gotcha. Awesome. Amanda, that's a very cool overview of what's going on the continent and what you are participating in. Anything else you'd like to share with us before we wrap up, that with our audience? Any other interesting things, opportunities, I don't know, wishes for the future?
Well, yes. I would like to encourage the audience on data. We have this saying now. I think I made a thread on it on Twitter. I said that data is the new oil. Why I said that is because Africa, for instance, we depend solely on our mineral resources, our natural resources. Nigeria depends on crude oil. That's where all our money comes in. And I tell them that data is the new oil, because one way or the other, things are going to replace this oil. We already have energy cars, we have solar panels. We don't necessarily need to depend on fuel generators. Now, I'm saying this because now that is emerging, we need to prepare ourselves. We need people that are going to be managing this data and evaluating it for whether business purposes or whether better decisions. So there are a lot of wonderful opportunities in data science alone that I would admonish people to look into, whether it's solution architecture or business intelligence, whatever. Please look into it, grow yourself in that skill, because it's an emerging field and the need is there. We have very few people that are data scientists, and data science is already coming into all the industries, whether formal sector, informal sector. But we ask ourselves the question, do we have the people who are going to be like championing this data? So it's time that, we look into this field. It's a wonderful course, it's a wonderful experience, it's a life-changing one. So let's consider it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Amanda. It's been a pleasure. And also, in addition to what you said, I recommend for people to check out this project where they can be mentors. Once again, it's at STEMi, Africa.org. You can find information about it there. Thank you so much, Amanda, for coming on the show. Oh, one more thing.
One. My favorite book.
Yeah, your book. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, so I started reading this book. It's amazing. I call it's actually called Understanding Machine Learning from Theory to Algorithm. It's a book by Shai Schwartz and Shai by David. I don't know if I pronounced it well, but the book gives us a deeper understanding of machine learning and algorithm that we can implement from scratch. And I think a lot of people would like that. So, and it's one of the perfect references that I give for implementing algorithm yourself. So please look into the book. You find it amazing.
That's very cool. I haven't heard of this book before. And indeed, it's Understanding Machine Learning from Theory to Algorithms by Shai Ben David and Shalev Schwartz. Very, very interesting. Okay, cool. So that's the book. And where can people follow you or contact you and find out more about these projects?
Okay, so my name on Twitter is Amanda Chippy, and I don't know if I can type this here.
No, it's okay. We'll share it in the show notes. So Twitter and LinkedIn, I guess.
Yes.
Twitter and LinkedIn.
I'm active.
The website we've talked about STEMi Africa. So you said you were active?
Okay, yes. I don't really say much on Twitter, but I'm always available. I like watching what we do there. And I would also like to talk about a just concluded program we did. I don't know if you may have heard about it. Is Black in Data. We had this last week. It was like one of the largest data week we've had ever. So it was a way of collaborating with young data analysts and professionals that are Black people, whether Black Africans or whether, in diaspora. And, we put in a wonderful week program. We brought in phenomenal people in data, to talk to people and, also give them certain opportunities that they did not know existed. So, I just wanted to talk about it.
Amazing. That's really cool. So where can people find out more about that?
On Twitter. It's called BLK in Data, Black in Data. Yes.
Awesome. Fantastic. Amanda, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a lot of fun, and I learned quite a bit about what's going on in Africa.
Thank you so much. Although I didn't really talk about data science, which I would have loved to, but all the same.
Thank you. So there you have it, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this podcast as much as I did. I personally loved learning about what is going on in Africa, what, on one hand, some of the challenges are, but also on the other hand, how they are being addressed and how Amanda is participating in addressing those challenges. It sounds like while they are challenges, the future is bright, and with the advancement of technology, more opportunities will open up and more people will be able to get on board with programs such as the STEMi projects, including Project Congoza. More and more people will be able to develop their skills and be part of the workforce in the space of technology. Very exciting episode. If you have those 2 hours per month that you would like to invest into helping somebody in Africa or in the MENA region get on their feet, get up and going, and build a career in technology, then you know where to go. The website is STEMiAfrica.org, and there you can join to participate in Project Congoza or other initiatives that Amanda and her team are running. As usual, you can find the show notes at superdatascience.com/423. That's superdatascience.com/423. There you'll find the transcript for this episode, the video of our session, any materials we mentioned, any books, and of course the URLs for the STEMiAfrica.org website, Amanda's LinkedIn and Twitter. Make sure to connect and get in touch with Amanda and see if, maybe you have some suggestions or some questions. And if you enjoyed this episode and you know somebody who is passionate about Africa or is passionate about helping people or would like to learn more about what's happening in the continent that is going to bring so many people to this global conversation, send them this episode. It's very easy to share. Just send them the link, superdatascience.com/423. On that note, thank you so much for being here today. I enjoyed this conversation. I hope you did too. And I look forward to seeing you back here next time. Until then, happy analyzing.